more about WCAG and stuff later, but we're going to go through a couple more things, and then we'll get into more. You can ask me more specifics about the tools, but you can continue to play anything you find on the Teeny URL. There's a bunch of stuff there that you can start working with. So these are my favorite tools, which I call Find, Fix, and Learn tools. These are the tools that are sometimes built into the software you're using, or they're just made to that you could fix it right in place. And I really, those are my absolute favorite, because problem solved before problem is passed out is so much better. So I don't know if I could get to all of these, but I'll try to give you an overview of these. So PAVE is on that list, PAVE, and it's a PDF and it's a cloud service. So that is one where you are sending a PDF up to the cloud. So don't do it with any documents that need to be secured. But it's really good for things like menus and stuff. So if you have people who are putting things on your website that's outside of your control, show them this PAVE tool. And if, they either have to use Acrobat. I think the PAVE tool is a little easier. Not everybody has Acrobat to correct PDFs. So I'll show you that. Grammarly, I don't know if they even spell that right. There's a free and paid version. I use that all the time. And that's we'll get to it. It's a tool that works across a lot of things. So whenever you're in like a text editor or a field box, it will check your grammar and spelling. And that's huge because the text editor I use for my website isn't very robust. And Grammarly, if you need a lot of help with your spelling and grammar, it's worth investing in. It's, you can, I think it's like $9 a month or something, but you can put in all your keywords, all the words you use all the time. So you can, if your university has style guidelines, you can put those, those acronyms in and all those things, and it really will help save you a lot of time. So that's a find and fix. It works right where you're in. It tells you your mistake and gives you the option to fix it. So it's really nice. Accessibility checker. I'm going to show you an accessibility checker for a WYSIWYG editor. So that's something, it works in Drupal or Word, a couple other content management systems, but you have your administrator. It's a plugin that goes with your WYSIWYG editor, and it gives you a little accessibility button built in to your WYSIWYG editor. So while you're in your content and you're doing you have images, you have ordered list, unordered lists, tables, it will check all those things in your content. And that's the best way. Like as you're doing it, here, give me some helpful corrections. So these are my favorite, the Find, Fix, and Learn tools. And I'll show you a couple accessibility. Hi. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to just start where we're at right now, and the things that we missed that you didn't get earlier, we're going to kind of reiterate because they're really important. But so right now I'm on the Find, Fix, and Learn tools, and I'm going to show you a couple of these. But basically, this is what we're going to do. This Teeny URL has all the links to all the things we're doing. So if you want to take a picture of that, or I'll go back to it. But all the things I'm demoing here and things I recommend are found on that Teeny URL, and I'll leave it up for at least 6 months. So you can play with all these things. Okay, so I'll just start with a Microsoft one, since I'm in a Microsoft product right now. Okay, so I'm in this, and there's an accessibility checker in here, and then there's a tool for correcting in here, reorder options, and this one's pretty. So this is showing me what would be the reading order if somebody was using a screen reader, if they were blind. And I know, this is the only pretty one. I always show it. The only pretty Microsoft thing I've ever seen. So I can see very visually my layers. And so do I want them to, I have an alt tag for this cat. Do I want them to read, do I want the alt text to that image to be read first? No. I would like the title of the slide to be read first, and then the alt text, because I like my cat, and then the text, or I could switch that. It's like, okay, the cat comes after that. And not everybody loves my cat as much as I do. And then, so that's a real easy one. That's real fun, easy. That's built in. And it kind of teaches you that the order, because you know how when you're building slides, it just throws everything on top. And that may not be the order. Visually, you'll see it top to bottom because you physically put it at the top. But if you're a screen reader, it's not going to be the first thing unless you put it in that order. So that's Microsoft in Word, and some of the emails will have accessibility checkers. So there's an accessibility checker. They usually hide it like one level deep. So in this one, it's under review, and there's an accessibility checker. Okay, popped it up. So it's going to say missing alt text. Oh, come on, I did you. Okay, so it's saying I don't have an alt text for this, but it's not going to make it easy. So they hide the alt text under information alt text. Like, yeah, that's so intuitive. So just a lot of times it's like a layer under something. So just keep looking or Google it and it'll tell you what layer it is. But a lot of tools have their testing, and so that's why I find and fix. You can fix it right when you're looking at it, and that's the best way to do that. And then show everybody around you who gives you stuff, those tools, and ask them to give it to you with the accessibility baked in.
Does Keynote also have these kinds of accessibility checkers?
I don't know how. Yeah, you can Google it. So we covered Word. What do we want? Pave. Okay, let's go to Pave. Pave is really nice. Cue these out. Oh, sorry. I used one of the bookmarklet things, and this was headings. So this bookmarklet right here, headings. So bookmarklets helps you do one little thing quickly. So that was a bookmarklet. And so to get rid of it, you just reload your page and it'll go away. But it showed me the heading so I could see. Like if you want to quickly well, you can see, I don't know if you can see from here, but what it's showing you is this is an H1, which there's a rule that says there should be only one H1 on a page. So this isn't really the title of the page. This is kind of the wrapper to it. This is probably the title, but it's not accurately being displayed. So for a search engine, they're going to think that's the title of the page, and it's not going to be very helpful. And for a screen reader user, when they go to what's the title of this page, that's what they're going to be brought to. So that was just from a little bookmarklet. Like, yeah. So as you get into the rules are really dry and boring until you put them into practice, and then they mean something. So, but I get to talk about dry, boring rules all the time. I was going to open up some tools for you. Okay. Oh, I'm going to do this one next because it's my fave.
Your video is great, by the way. I watched it.
Which one?
The one that has the gentleman showing how to do something. I can't remember what it was now, but it was. Remember how I wanted to make a video and I asked you and you sent me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay. This so disappoints me. 0. Okay. This is the one I talked about, that if you're in a content management system and you have a WYSIWYG editor, the thing you type into and put your stuff in, there are modules for Drupal, WordPress, a couple other content management systems that can be built into the site, into the WYSIWYG editor, added to it, that give you an accessibility tool. Let's see if I can make this larger. So this has been pre-done for this instance. So this WYSIWYG editor has this tool built in. And this particular tool is called Accessibility Checker, and it's for CK Editor. So you you've got your website, you've put in some content, you visually see it looks the way you want. You use the checker, and this is why I call it find and fix. It's testing your site, but it's giving you the opportunity to correct it right there and then. These are my favorite because it also teaches you, like the more you do this or the more you put this in the hands of people you work with and they do it, the quicker they'll learn this stuff. It'll just be the way they do things. So this particular one is saying, it's giving me, saying you don't have an alt text on this. And now, since I just wrote this, I know exactly why I put that picture in there. And so this is all about Jeff's hand. That's the only reason that's there. So quick fix, Jeff's hand. Everybody knows that's a picture of Jeff's hand. So say I was being facetious. You would know why you put that picture in, and if that picture wasn't visible, what information would be missing from the content. So it would be, you would say something more meaningful, but I'm just going to do this. And so now the next thing, it's saying, I see you have an H2 here. I see issue 1 of 6 warnings. That's really what I did was I pulled this in from Word, and it was set up as a paragraph with just bold and this and that. So it visually looks like the second heading, second hierarchy of headings, but it's not. Visually it is, but there's no information to a screen reader or a search engine, because search engines read like screen readers use. They'll use that hierarchy. Like you're telling me this is the second most important, the second level of information on the page. You're telling me this is third level. So right now I'm telling it it's a paragraph, which isn't meaningful. It's not going to give it more importance in the search engine. And I probably should have more. It's making a suggestion. I suggest you use an H2. It's like, that sounds good to me. And then it's done. And then it's like, oh yeah, when I pull these things in, they're not going to have their headings proper. I might need to redo these. List of, so this one, I forgot how to fix it. Sorry. Okay, now what did I do with this? Okay, it's telling me you gotta fix this yourself. Okay, so I did the same thing. I pulled this in from Word and I visually created a list. It's not a real list by a machine standard. It's a visual list. So I want it to be an ordered list. There's my ordered list button. Now it's an ordered list, but it's a little messy. So I'm going to have to go in and clean it up. But, I know why I'm doing it now, and I'll remember to do this in the future, or I can just be lazy and clean it up when it reminds me I need to clean it up. Okay, and then check again. And okay, so there is something that made it into the alt tag, but it's not accurate. So it's giving me the chance of like, hey, we don't think you really want that being read to a screen reader. Say something nicer. And so what it's pointing to is that little icon. It's pointing to this little icon-y thing. So I'm going to say Ally icon. And fix it. Oh, and now I have a table. Okay. So the first couple times you do it's easiest. So it's giving me, do I want, are my headers horizontal, vertical, or both? So I'm going to say I want my just my horizontal ones. So if you have a table that this and this mean something, because sometimes people are using them just as lists, but if this and this mean something, this and this mean something, you have to tell it both. You'll get used to it. So I'm going to say both. Quick fix. And then, I might have to go in and clean this up. But maybe I don't like it visually, but at least semantically, it is correct. So sometimes the visual and semantic, you got to rock back and forth between. So anyway, if I did all of this, it would finally give me a bill of health. Okay, quick fix. Oh, so it's saying, I have kind of redundant links. So it's going to make a suggestion. It says, this document does not contain any accessibility issues. Yay! And so that's why I love these things.
I have a question though, because you put in the Ally icon, but it looks like Ally is spelled A11L, so is a screen reader going to know how to deal with that? Or A11Y?
Okay.
Was it officially, is it Ally?
Right, and is the screen reader going to know that, right?
A11Y is how it's going to read it.
A11Y.
And I bet you people use screen readers probably know what A11Y is. A11Y is a shortening, and it's used, it started out on Twitter for accessibility. It's the word accessibility. It's A and the Y and 11 letters in between.
Oh.
So that's, and it
So
kind of is,
that would already know.
yeah.
I'm new to this, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There are actually a lot of abbreviations like that.
Oh, are there?
I-18N-L, something like
Oh,
that.
wow. Okay.
Internationalization, localization, it's sort of it's a thing.
Now, we're getting a twofer here, because Grammarly started watching what I was doing. I've got Grammarly turned on in my machine, and this is Grammarly down in my corner saying that it found something. So it's asking me to personalize, sorry. You don't want to do that. So that was Grammarly, and it will, I don't have the, that's not recognizing my account. But anyway, that was Grammarly down the corner. And if I had spelling errors or stuff like that, it would also give me the opportunity. If we have time, I'll go over it. But Grammarly is great. I love it. And it works in a ton of things. So anyway, so that was find and fix. Where are we? Oh, pave. We want to do pave. Okay, so a lot of this stuff also, too, is on the website. So if you go to the guide, here's stuff on videos, frames, PDF documents. See, I'm lazy. So this is a link to Pave. That's where I keep it. Oh, it's linked to the image. Sorry. Okay. Does it look like this? Start Pave. Okay. It's European. It's an awesome tool. It's an awesome tool. So what you do with Pave is you upload a PDF. So it goes to, wherever you put your PDF. Desktop, test, put a PDF. Where's my play PDF? Sorry, my screen is much tinier than I'm used to looking at it. Okay, so I have this PDF, and somebody gave it to me, and it's testing it for accessibility, and then it's also giving me the opportunity to correct. But so it's telling me it's pretty fast. So this is what I said. It's going up to the cloud, so don't do it with any secure documents. It's not a good path, but it's good for like menus or party invites or stuff like that. So. Here's my document. I don't know why it's doing it tiny. But here's my document, and it's pretty much, you learn it pretty quickly. So red things are bad, green things are good. So it's telling you language has not been specified, and different things. So if you just keep walking through it and do the different things, like, this thing should have a title. It should. So it'll just keep bugging you until you get all the things right. So it's going to go through, like, it's going to want an alt tag for this. So it's going to give me, this is now being marked as a paragraph, and it's not a paragraph. Sorry, my type is super tiny. So, where's image? Oh, I think they call it figure. Figure. I told you it's European. Okay, that's a figure. Not an image, it's a figure. And then, so add caption. Sometimes they say caption for alt tags, which always throws me.
So just like anything you put up, you can check and fix.
Well, and it kind of teaches you, like, okay, this is an image, but it's actually text. So you need to you need to say it's an image, and then then the alt text. So when an image is text, just write what it says. Okay. So see, it's no longer red, it's green. Green, good. And then, so you go through and it'll let you, it'll tell you what these things are. These are going out okay. This one I think is red, but I can't tell because it's red on red. So it's an image. This is, it's not text anymore, so a screen reader couldn't read that. So you would do the same thing, type in what it was. So anyway, you just apply all the principles. So there's tools, and this is a pretty good one. Acrobat does the same thing in a more awkward way. So I like this one. So those are find and fix tools. Let's go back to our slides. Okay. I know his name is Earl. Earl Grey, and Earl Grey is my favorite tea, and so okay, we just did that one. Accessibility checkers. So there are lots of things out there. There are more coming. I love those things that are like overlays that help you just fix something in place, because nothing teaches you better than learning it kind of right on your own stuff in the moment. So that'll help teach you those rules faster than anything. So seek those out. Okay. So when you're getting ready to test, we talked about different types of tools. So, and I'll show you again the tool picker. To figure out why you're testing. Do you want to show somebody something really quick? Like if I really wanted to scare Esther, I would just throw Code Snipper on her website, and her eyes would bug out just like they did.
Yeah, I almost passed out.
If I was talking, if I was talking to a programmer, I might pull it up in a browser extension, because then we could quickly look at the code or something like that. So, what are you testing for? Are you testing to fix it? Are you testing to show somebody? Are you testing because you're going to be testing it over time? So think about what the results will be used for. What's the purpose? What are you trying to do? Use the tool best suited for what you're trying to do. Are you doing a single page or a whole website? A lot of times, if you're trying to fix things, it's a lot easier a lot of these tools are just based a page at a time, because it's like find it, fix it. But they're still really, really powerful. What else could you include while you're at it? Like if it's, I say website, but this applies to a lot of things. Maybe check your branding colors. Check, maybe put a couple other things you're going to have to deal with on that website that and they're on your list. Like, as long as I'm checking hierarchy and this and that, I know they don't like this acronym, or they always want the acronym spelled out the first time or something. So just do yourself a favor and keep your little cheat sheet list of things you check and add those to it. You might as well, if you're going to be on every page. Like check your links. A lot of times it checks. A lot of good ones check your links. So, branding, grammar checks, things like that. What? We can play with this if you guys want to do it at a time. This is on the Teeny URL. This is a practice and testing page. So if you're going back and teaching other people at your university, this is sort of a pre-built one. It's a website with known things wrong with it, and I have some lists back there that this is the page. It has a number of things wrong with it, and then it has a full list of what's wrong with it and how to fix it. So if you want to get people, this isn't their website. They're not going to get all freaked out about it, and it's all set up, and it's on the Teeny URL. It's on GitHub, and if I have any of the handouts. Nope, I apologize. I don't have the handout with that on it. But it's on the Teeny URL, so this is a good one if you're going to take it back. It has all the things wrong with it. There's 18 things wrong with it. and you can start hunting them down and find them, use the different testing tools and then see how you like or compare one testing tool to another. Like there's 18 things wrong. You pull it up in one testing tool and it doesn't find all of them. You're like, okay, try it in another testing tool and it gives you a bunch of false positives or something. So it's a way to compare. Oh, thank you. Okay. So I'm going to painfully go over WCAG again because it's so much fun.
I put that on fictional university.
I have to see something 7 times before it's so great.
Okay. Okay. So back to WCAG. So the free automated testing tools are on the list. There's a list I passed out that's the top things to check for that are most common errors, like the top 12. No, those are that's WCAG, which is good. Yeah, I've got it on this long sheet. Yeah, so this one, this is like, just an overview of manual testing. I'll let you pass this. And then on the back side is like the top content problems and interaction issues. So those are the things you're going to run into most. Whoever wants them. Not everybody wants them. So that's a good thing to practice. Okay, so we're going to go over WCAG again. So WCAG 2.0 AA and why we use it. Okay, so WCAG stands for Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. And it's commonly pronounced WCAG. And they are guidelines are produced by the World Wide Web, which is an international trusted group. They work very hard on consortium. And they are the standard means adopted and used to evaluate and guide website accessibilities. 2.0 is the current version. And AA is a standard we use because it meets most of the criteria, and it is what UC goes by. So to break it down, every criteria that you have to meet, you got the, did I pass out the WCAG list? Did you pass out the WCAG list? WCAG? No, it says the principles on the front, POUR. Starts with POUR. Do I have any more? Yeah, go ahead. So WCAG has 3, you're going to see these numbers. So on these tools, like I just Code Sniffer, they'll show you this tool. Like, you'll get a warning in this number, and then it'll link to a bunch of stuff. So this number is in 3 parts. The first number is one of the 4 principles. So the 4 principles are perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Spells poor. Perceivable, operable, understandable. It's going to fall into one of those principles. And then
Can you tell us what each of those 4 things mean?
it's on the sheet. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to do that. So no worries. But it's on the sheet. So the second one, so for level A, there are 12 guidelines. So there's 12 things for you to keep in mind. When you go to level AA, they add a few more, and AAA, which you probably never have to deal with, they add a few more. So a lot of times it's good to start with, clear through AA, get all the basics, and then add the other ones. So really there's 12 things, guidelines you're working with. And then this third number is a success criteria. You are successful if, and then there are tests that are associated with each number. It breaks it down. So the tests are broken into yes/no questions. So you are successful if something passes. So we're going to examine this particular number. We're going to break this one down. Okay. So break it down, these 3 numbers. So so the first one of the principles, operable. So we're talking about this is an operable thing. Keyboard access with no keyboard traps. Okay, that's the guideline. Is it keyboard accessible with no keyboard traps? It passes by answering yes to the question number 54, which is there a way to get in and out of every component on the page, example, widget or control, using only the keyboard? So you would do a keyboard test. Can I get around everything on this in and out, escape, using just a keyboard. So that's a test. If you say, yes, it can do this, then you pass that test. So that's the broken down into WCAG. So these tools can test about 20 to 30%. And so they'll cover a lot of things. They'll tell you if you have your alt tags, this and that. So some of the things you're going to have to do manually. And a keyboard test is a manual thing you need to do. Because a machine, if there is a keyboard trap, would get trapped in it. So that's a manual thing. And there's a lot of information on the web. You can go through to demonstrate all the different manual tests. But it's basically like not using your mouse, using the keyboard, go through, can you get to the drop-down menus, can you get to this, can you do, with just using the keyboard. And if it's well constructed, you should be able to. So that is WCAG. Does that make sense? Okay. So I've got a little bit time for questions. I just want to make sure I covered WCAG again.
I do have a question.
Sure.
So those 12 guidelines, I don't see anything numbering to 12 on here, so
Okay,
is that in a different place?
Okay, so basically these are the 12 guidelines right here. And when you go online, so this is kind of the short
This
version.
is like going to be 1.1, 1.2,
Yes.
1.4, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. That would be it. Yeah. So that's just sort of my shorthand for it
Yeah.
because they're long sentences. But when you're trying to develop your checklist, like, oh, do I need to check this? Do I need to check that? So, and then you can pick the tools that are going to check what you're trying to check best.
So operable keyboard 2.1. Thank you.
Okay, and then the other part, I would like to show you just quickly. It's on the Teeny URL, but it's the this tool is on the Teeny URL, and it helps you drill down and get all the specific information of a particular problem. So if you get a warning, you're an error, you're not meeting this, and the information that you're getting from the tool isn't enough, you could dive deeper into it and get the deep explanations. And sometimes you want to dive really deep because your problem in its context may not need to meet the criteria, but you need to be able to know that for sure, make that judgment call in its context. For example, I have a video on my website that has no caption because the video is about sound quality. It's somebody doing something the same way using a different miking system. So, and it's labeled, there's no caption. So you drill down into the thing, okay, I don't have an accurate caption, but I meet the criteria that this is marked, that it doesn't have a caption and it doesn't need one. So somebody who's like in the library and they're going through their videos, they can see, oh, this video doesn't have caption. I'm not going to bother because I'm not going to get what's going on until I can listen to it. So sometimes if you can't get to a yes, just keep going down. Because sometimes it may be in context that is not going to meet the criteria. And then the other, so if you just look up WCAG, it has, I think I probably pulled this off of here, and I just, it gets pretty deep when you start drilling into it. The other one, okay, sign up Grammarly. Oh, I lost the tool. There's, here's the tool. Here's the tool thing to help you pick tools. And so you can go by what criteria, you even choose a language and type of tool. So if you only want to work with online tools or you want to work with browser, just show me browser plugins, you can drill down to that. And this will help you because there's a lot of tools out there. And on the Teeny URL, I put some of the good ones to get started with. So depending on how your workflow, what you're using for, the tool may completely change, or even the audience you're using it with. So there was bookmarklets, browser extensions are the common ones, and then web-based ones. So we've got 5 more minutes. Anything can help you understand? Go over again. I'm going to sip my water. I'll let you think about it. It's fine.
Whizzy way down there, so what you have is just a simple editor, and, it's not.
Thank you. I hope that was helpful without getting the. Okay, good. Thanks. And you can contact me if you have any questions. All right, thank you.
It seems like it's going to be a manual training to get our authors to use that kind of tab appropriately inside of the alt tags inside of
If they, thank you. I hope that was helpful. I do classes, and I'm switching over to doing just web-based training because it's in my situation it's too hard to get the people together in one room. It uses up a lot of resources to get people to come from all over and sit in a room for an hour. So I'm breaking it down into the videos they can watch. But I was teaching a class just for content managers, and I would go over the basics things. And most people, if you don't have a checker, you're kind of asking yourself these questions, or you use a tool and it tells you. But I think it's much nicer to be able to correct it when you see it instead of have a tool that tells you your problem and then have to go into, I'm looking at the website, then I have to go into the editor and then do it. So.
Find and fix is a great principle.
Yeah, find and fix, find and fix, and fixing or even testing as close to the creation helps, because people want to go down the line and they think, well, it's in the code, so it must be a coding issue. It's like, well, you put it in the code.
That PDF tool is amazing. I already updated 3 documents on our.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you guys to,
so.
because I figured you'd all find a tool you liked and just stick with it and show your neighbors and get excited about it.
Yeah, and I was also saying one of the most common things I noticed that annoys me is just like some carpal tunnel issues. So I used to keep I hate using a mouse.
Yes,
It's
and there's a
people
lot
that
of.
don't properly tab things, so you start tabbing and then it jumps all over
Yes.
the screen.
And power users really appreciate that, because other people use it. And just think about, we don't know all the devices we're going to be using and how, for in your car, things like that. A lot of it's going to be voice command to tab through, and so it's the R in poor is robust, means it's going to work in the future, and so adding that level makes it more robust. And it helps search engines and things like Watson, that's going to be this, IBM's kind of predictable thing that learns and predicts. It's like it learns like a screen reader learns. That organization helps other tools that are just coming in and extracting information. The clearer you are about what's important in a page and hierarchy and all these things that are done for accessibility help usability, both for people and machines.
I was thinking of, that'll help with voice-based search that's going to be coming as well.
Yeah.
The more structured you can get the
Yeah.
content.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very
Yeah,
much.
it helps search engines a lot. Okay. Phew. Thank you.